The BBQ sauce sitting at eye level in your grocery store right now was not put there because it tastes the best. It was put there because the margin structure demanded it. The corporation that manufactures it also manufactures salad dressing, cleaning products, or frozen dinners, and the same cost reduction logic runs through all of them. The first ingredient in most of the top-selling bottles on that shelf is not tomato. It is not smoke. It is a corn derivative, manufactured by an industrial supply chain that has nothing to do with barbecue. 3 corporations control the majority of the American BBQ sauce aisle. None of them are run by pitmasters. This video is about the 10 brands that Formula produced and the 3 that escaped it. Kraft Heinz, a company that posted $26.4 billion in North American net sales in the first half of 2024, owns Bullseye, Open Pit, and the Heinz BBQ line simultaneously. Conagra Brands controls Hunt's. Sweet Baby Ray's, the #1 selling BBQ sauce in American retail history, at $198.2 million in annual sales, is owned by Ken's Foods, a Massachusetts-based salad dressing company. The people optimizing the formula in your sauce are the same people optimizing the ranch dressing in your salad kit. These are not food companies. They are portfolio companies. The sauce is a SKU. You are the margin. Open Pit, the third Kraft Heinz BBQ label on the same shelf, retails at approximately $2.50 for 18 ounces. The corporate parent is Kraft Heinz, the same conglomerate that owns Bullseye 3 feet to its right and the Kraft BBQ line 3 feet to its left. 3 different labels, 1 procurement department, 1 ingredient supplier, 1 industrial HFCS formula, dressed in 3 separate brand identities. A consumer standing in the condiment aisle choosing between Open Pit and Kraft is not experiencing market competition. They are experiencing brand architecture designed to maximize shelf space penetration. The choice is theater. The formula behind both bottles is the same corporate exercise in cost minimization. Open Pit survives on distribution agreements and retailer relationships, not on what is in the bottle. Sonny's, a regional restaurant legacy converted into a grocery product that calls itself authentic while listing artificial colors in the formula. It retails at approximately $4.50 for 21 ounces. The ingredient list includes corn syrup, artificial colors, and artificial flavors. Total sugar per 2 tablespoon serving, 14 grams. Here's what artificial color in a BBQ sauce actually means. The natural ingredients in the formula do not produce the expected visual color at the cost point the recipe requires. When a sauce needs synthetic dye to look like what it claims to be made of, the ingredient deck has already answered the quality question. The label says authentic. The formula says something else entirely. You are not buying a regional BBQ tradition. You are buying a grocery store contract bottling run wearing a restaurant brand's name. Whataburger Honey BBQ, a fast food brand loyalty exercise that placed a drive-through condiment into your grocery cart at a price premium. It retails at approximately $4.50 for 19 ounces. The first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Water is second. Tomato paste is third. After that, molasses, sugar, and honey. That is 4 separate sweetener inputs stacked into a single bottle before you reach the actual flavor components. Sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate both appear in the preservative package. Whataburger added the brand's name to a grocery product in 2022 because the brand equity was monetizable. The sauce formula was not built around quality. It was built around recognizable taste memory from a fast food context. It performs that function. It does not perform as a premium grilling sauce at premium grocery pricing. You are not buying honey-forward BBQ flavor. You are paying for nostalgia on a label over an industrial sweetener formula. Bullseye, the illusion of premium positioned directly above the budget Kraft label, it shares a procurement department with. It retails at approximately $3 for 18 ounces. The parent company is Kraft Heinz, the same conglomerate that owns Open Pit and the Kraft BBQ line. Bullseye runs a slightly different flavor profile and a marginally higher price point to capture the consumer who wants to trade up without leaving the Kraft Heinz shelf. The Kraft Heinz company generated $6.4 billion in net sales in Q1 2024 alone. Bullseye is a line item in a portfolio optimization strategy. It is not a sauce built by anyone who has ever stood at a pit. The darker color and bolder label are marketing decisions, not formula decisions. The choice between Bullseye and Kraft is one of the more cynical exercises in retail product architecture in the American grocery industry. KC Masterpiece, a brand named after the most respected BBQ city in America, built on a formula Kansas City pitmasters would not recognize. It retails at $1.98 for 18 ounces at Walmart. The first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup appears again further down the deck. Total added sugar per serving, 11 grams. Sodium per serving, 230 milligrams, roughly 10% of the daily recommended value. Real Kansas City-style sauce starts with tomato paste and genuine molasses. The depth and complexity of actual KC-style BBQ comes from the layering of those base ingredients with time and heat. KC Masterpiece starts with a corn derivative and works backward from a cost per unit target. The name does the work the formula cannot. Before we continue, I want to tell you something quick. My dad, who got me into BBQ and grills, bet me I would never hit 10,000 subscribers. He thinks I am wasting my time. So if you are enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button and help me prove the old man wrong. Let's settle this bet once and for all. Let's continue. Famous Dave's, a restaurant brand with real pitmaster credibility, a grocery bottle with none of it. It retails at approximately $4.50 for 20 ounces. The first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, pineapple juice concentrate, molasses, and honey follow. Total sugar per 2 tablespoon serving, 13 grams. Famous Dave Anderson built a restaurant chain with genuine smoke credentials. The bottled product is contract manufactured to a mass-market grocery price point. The restaurant smokes meat for hours over real wood. The bottle was optimized for a cost structure that makes warehouse storage economics work. The brand name on the label is not a quality signal, it is a licensing arrangement. The formula underneath it behaves exactly like every other HFCS forward sauce on this list. You are not buying the restaurant experience. You are buying the name they sold to a distributor. Jack Daniel's Original. A spirits licensing agreement applied to a sauce the distillery had no role in formulating. It retails at approximately $5 for 19 ounces. Cane sugar is the first ingredient. Molasses, tamarind concentrate, and pineapple concentrate follow. Total sugar per 2 tablespoon serving, 15 grams. Sodium per serving, 230 milligrams, 10% of daily recommended intake. Jack Daniel's won a gold medal at the 2022 Dubai International Taste Awards. The award is real. The brand licensing mechanism is also real. This is a condiment manufacturer renting the Jack Daniel's name to move product through a BBQ aisle. The whiskey barrel graphic on the front is a brand equity transfer, not a quality signal. The formula behind it is sugar forward and preservative laden in the same pattern as every other mass market entry on this list. You are not buying Tennessee Smokehouse tradition. You are buying 15 grams of sugar per serving with a bar brand on the label. Blues Hog Champions Blend. Competition circuit aesthetics. The worst sugar load of any sauce in the mainstream market. It retails at approximately $8 for 16 ounces. This is not a budget product. The formula targets serious competition BBQ cooks. The ingredient deck tells a different story. High fructose corn syrup is ingredient number 1. Brown sugar follows, then corn syrup again, then molasses, then regular sugar. That is 5 separate sweetener inputs in a single bottle. Total added sugar per 2 tablespoon serving, 17 grams. Sodium, 350 milligrams. Multiple registered dietitians, including contributors to Eat This Not That, have identified Blues Hog Champions Blend as the single highest added sugar sauce in mainstream retail. 17 grams of added sugar per serving is more than half the American Heart Association's daily recommended maximum in one condiment. Serving that most people use in multiples. You are not buying a competition BBQ advantage. You are buying the highest sugar concentration on the shelf at a premium price point, targeted at the exact consumer who should know better. Sweet Baby Ray's, the best-selling BBQ sauce in American retail history, built on a formula a salad dressing company has owned for 20 years. It retails at $3.98 for 40 ounces at Walmart. The first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup appears again further down the deck. That is 2 separate corn derivatives sweetening a single bottle. Total added sugar per 2 tablespoon serving, 17 grams. More than half the recommended daily maximum in a condiment serving. The brothers who built this brand sold it to Ken's Foods in 2005 for $30 million. Ken's Foods manufactures salad dressings. The brand is now estimated to be worth $600 million. The formula has not been meaningfully updated in 2 decades because the formula does not matter when the Instacart ranking does. Sweet Baby Ray's held the #1 most ordered sauce position on Instacart in 2024, not because the ingredients are clean, because the brand is entrenched and the distribution is total. The Sweet Baby Ray's business model depends on your ignorance of that label. Every year the label does not get read is another year at $198 million in annual sales. Kraft, the floor of the American BBQ sauce market, the brand that established what industrial condiment manufacture looks like when there is no competitive pressure to do better. It retails at $1.98 for 18 ounces at Walmart. That price is possible because of what is in the bottle. The first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. The second is distilled vinegar. Tomato paste, the ingredient most people assume they are paying for, appears at position 4. Potassium sorbate completes the preservative structure. Kraft Heinz generated $6.4 billion in net sales in Q1 2024 from North America alone. The Kraft BBQ sauce is one of dozens of SKUs in a portfolio that also includes cheese, condiments, and frozen dinners. The slow-simmered claim on the label is a marketing phrase. It describes nothing in the production process that the formula's ingredient deck would support. A sauce built to survive 18 months of warehouse storage is a sauce built to survive a supply chain, not to taste like anything touched by fire. You are not buying barbecue sauce. You are buying the cheapest available corn sweetener delivery vehicle the American food industry knows how to produce at scale. Now, the 3 that are actually legit. Primal Kitchen, 0 high fructose corn syrup, 0 cane sugar, 0 artificial preservatives. The cleanest mainstream formula in the category. It retails at approximately $6.50 for 10 ounces. USDA organic, certified, Whole30 approved, keto certified. The sweetness profile comes from balsamic vinegar and organic spices. Cinnamon, coriander, chipotle. No corn derivatives, no preservatives, no caramel color. Multiple registered dietitians published by Eat This Not That and EatThis.com have named Primal Kitchen the cleanest commercial BBQ sauce available in mainstream retail. 20 calories per 2 tablespoon serving. 115 milligrams of sodium. Every ingredient on the label is identifiable on site. Compared to Sweet Baby Ray's at 17 grams of added sugar per serving, Primal Kitchen delivers 0. That gap is not a health preference. That is the difference between a formula designed for shelf longevity and a formula designed for the person actually eating it. Stubbs, the only mainstream Texas-style sauce built without high fructose corn syrup, from a verifiable origin story that no portfolio company purchased. It retails at approximately $7 for 36 ounces. C.B. Stubblefield opened his first restaurant in Lubbock, Texas in 1968. The ingredient deck reads tomato puree, molasses, brown sugar, distilled vinegar, black pepper, no HFCS, no corn syrup, no caramel color, no artificial preservatives. Gluten-free certified. Food Network's independent testing panel named Stubbs a top-performing sauce in its category evaluation. The flavor profile delivers 8 grams of sugar per serving, less than half the load of Sweet Baby Ray's, less than half the load of Blues Hog Champions blend, and dramatically less than anything in the Kraft Heinz portfolio. At $7 for 36 ounces, the per ounce cost is competitive with every HFCS-laden mass market brand when you run the actual math. Smart buyers run that calculation. Everyone else pays the same amount for a formula built around what the factory needed, not what the food deserved. Bachans, the most differentiated legitimate sauce in the American BBQ market. The one formula the corporate condiment industry cannot replicate at any accessible price point. It retails at approximately $9 to $10 for 16 ounces. The first ingredient is non-GMO soy sauce. Cane sugar follows. Organic ginger, organic garlic, mirin, and organic toasted sesame oil complete the base. No preservatives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. Cold-filled in small batches to preserve ingredient integrity. Non-GMO verified, vegan, BPA-free. Food Network's independent test panel named Bachans the most versatile sauce in its evaluation group. The umami depth from the real soy base does something no tomato and HFCS formula can replicate at any production volume. It functions as a marinade, a glaze, a dipping sauce, and a baste. The cold fill process, the real ginger, the real garlic, the mirin, the organic sesame oil. Every one of those inputs costs more than a corn derivative. That is exactly why every brand on the avoid list has failed to clone it. You are not buying a novelty sauce. You are buying the result of a formula that starts with real ingredients because no cheaper substitution exists that produces the same outcome. The pattern is clear. Every sauce on the avoid list runs the same play. Secure shelf placement through retailer margin incentives, anchor the first ingredient to a corn derivative, and redirect the savings to advertising that features open fire and smoking meat that the formula never touched. The product is not the sauce. The product is the shelf position. Before any bottle goes in your cart, read the first ingredient. If it is high fructose corn syrup, every claim on that label is downstream of a cost minimization decision. That single check takes 8 seconds, and it is the only research the industry is counting on you to skip. If this video saved you from a bad purchase, hit that like button. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Drop your current BBQ sauce in the comments. Tell me if it made the list. I read every single one.